Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're not going to be doing yesterday's puzzle again, even though it is on the screen. We're going to be doing a puzzle that Mark has sent me a link to, and he wants me to open live on webcam, which means almost certainly it's going to be a ludicrous puzzle, either with no digits in it or strange rules or who knows. But he does like to have his little laugh at my expense. But actually, while Chaotic Equality by Nicholas is on the screen, just have a look at this puzzle if you have some time. I solved it yesterday. It took me an hour and 45 minutes. It is a complete masterpiece of a Sudoku, one of the best puzzles I've ever done. Very, very hard, but worth it in every way. And I'm delighted to tell you that I believe Nicholas is going to be providing us with a setting video about how he constructed this extraordinary thing in the coming weeks. So look forward to that. Anyway, without further ado, let's paste this URL in and see what Mark has sent me today. 1919 Sandwiches by RockyRoer. I like RockyRoer's puzzles. Oh dear, I might have to pause the video because this is not... Oh no, hang on. If I move this down a bit, maybe it does fit on after all. I just have to move it down. There we go. That's okay, isn't it? That's in the right place. Fantastic. And right, we've got some even and odds outside the grid. Why has he sent me this? I mean, obviously there's no digits in it. I was sort of expecting that. In fact, let's read the rules together and we can understand why. So normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in row 1 indicate which row contains the one. This is indexing. Oh, you rotten man. You rotten man. I know exactly why he sent me this. I think he sent me this either because, I don't know, he's either tested it or he's tried to record it in a video and it's gone wrong. And he thought, I know what I'll do. I'll send it to good old Simon and have a laugh at his expense. Well, it's Mark's Bête Noire indexing, but it's not whatever's only slightly above Bête Noire. That's what it is for me. I am not a happy camper when it comes to indexing puzzles. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let me continue to read the rules. So, digits in row 1. Oh, row 1. Hang on, that's weird. Row 1. Okay, normally indexing is columns. Okay, but digits in row 1 indicate which row contains the one in that column. Right, so the digits in row 1, let's just make this a 3. I was trying to type a 4, but I managed to type a 3. If that's a 3, okay, yes, that's indicating the row in which the 1 appears in this column. So we would put a 1 here, because in this column, this 3 is telling us that the 1 appears in the 3rd row. 1, 2, 3. So that would be a 1. Okay. Digits in row 9. Row 9 again. Okay, so this is strange. Digits in row 9 indicate which row contains the 9 in each column. Okay, so again, if this was... I tried to type in... Okay, we've typed in 3 again here. So this is telling us the row that the 9 appears in this column. So that would be a 9. Okay, that's very unusual. Digits in column 1 indicate the column in which the 1 appears in the row. So actually that's normal. Okay, so normally I think of indexing puzzles as 1, 5, 9 because typically it's those 3 columns that do the indexing. Here it looks like it's going to be the perimeter. I haven't finished reading the rules yet, but this one, imagine this square was a 7. I think this is saying that the 1 in this row appears in the 7th column. I'm just going to double check that. Digits in column 1 indicate the column in which the 1 appears in the row. Yes, so that's how this column works. And then digits in column 9 indicate the column that contains the 9 in the row. So let's make this square a 4. If this is a 4, we know that the 9 in this row appears in the 4th column. So it's completely and utterly ludicrous, basically. And what are the clues? Oh. I was about to say from the title, these can't be sandwich clues, can they? Clues outside the grid indicate the sum or parity of the sum of the digits sandwiched between the 1 and 9 in their rows and columns. That is not possible. I don't think that can be right. I don't think I've been sent the right link, I'm afraid, because I don't see how that can ever solve. I mean, I could understand how, if we had a full complement of sandwich clues, this might work. But if I don't, I only know the parity. So sorry, I'm being very unclear. So clues outside the grid indicate the sum of the digits sandwiched between the 1 and 9. Let's look at this 13 clue for a moment. So in this, if we made that square a 9 and that square a 1, then what we'd be told is that the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9 in the column have to sum up to 13. So it's a really interesting rule. Yeah, Mark and I have done loads of puzzles in the past based off sandwich sudoku. But here, along with the weird indexing rule, we're just told, for example, that the sandwich in this column is odd. The sandwich, I mean, that feels completely, it's absolutely absurd. Is this why he's asked me to open this on screen? Is it not just that it's an index? He's laughing at me about indexing. He's making me think I'm going completely insane. I'm not going insane. How can that solve? I mean, that's proper miraculous, isn't it? There's literally there literally is 2 clues, and there's sandwich clues. Well, and there's these weird clues. I don't know. I suspect. Right, so what do I do here? Do I pause the video and give him a ring? Do I try it? And then when it fails, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to try it on the basis that he's never actually sent me the wrong puzzle before. So I'll try it, and if I get stuck, no, when I get stuck, I will ring him on camera, and I will ring him up, and as well as chastising him and using a few choice words, we will discover what the missing clues are together. That is what I'm going to do. Right, okay, so let me carry on with my introduction then. So thank you very much if you watched Teiji with us last night. We streamed the game Teiji. Mark and I are both loving it. It's a puzzle game, style of The Witness, weird and wonderful stuff. It was great. We had the developer in the chat last night, which is always a great thrill. And apparently, according to the chat, we're probably about 3/4 of the way through the game. So maybe one more stream will be what it takes, and we'll certainly come back to that shortly. And then I've got some birthdays to do. So Alex, you've turned 23 today, and I know this because your friend Sage wrote to us. And Marie, your husband Nate, told me it's your birthday today. So I wish you many happy returns. And then Kelsey, you've turned 32 today, and I know this because your husband James wrote to us. And finally, Mary, over there in Canada, your husband Ben wrote to us. And in fact, I'm quite jealous, Mary, because not only do I hear you're an amazing teacher, also I know you're being made chocolate cake today, which I most certainly am not being. It's not happening to me, and I suppose it is your birthday. And rather wonderfully, in fact, serendipitously, the way that husband Ben expressed your birthday was as the maximum sandwich clue. I love that. So we're now at a stage in Sudoku variations where we can express people's birthdays in terms of Sudoku rules. And lots of you will now know Mary's age. So Mary, many happy returns. A very happy birthday to you, and I know you're getting chocolate cake, so I don't have to wish you well on that front. Now next, oh yes, it's the 1st of February, which means that if you're a patron of the channel over on Patreon, you are not only a member of the best Sudoku club on earth, but it is your Patreon reward day. And we have got Glum Hippo's fossil hunt ready and waiting for you. It should actually be live by the time this video goes out. And it's a chance to win the plushie, this plushie's been getting some attention. Oh, hang on, I've got to move the plushie down. So this is Glum Hippo's version of himself in plushie form. It's made by a 16-year-old crafts lady who works in a company called, well, I think it's her own company called Yarnworks by Ella. And isn't that beautiful? So if you want a chance to win that, you're going to have to solve the whole hunt. And the whole hunt is themed around a Sudoku rule called XY differences. And let me give you a tip for that. If you've never heard of XY differences, we have done a couple of puzzles on the channel using XY differences, but Mark last night solved the example puzzle from Glum Hippo's hunt as his video. So there is a primer ready and raring to go. So check that out, and then you'll be able to whiz through the hunt. And if you manage to solve the hunt in the first 15 days of February, you'll get a shout out on the channel. If you manage to solve it in the first 20 days of February, then you'll be in the competition to win the plushie. And then just some names of those who managed to solve the whole of Jay Dyer's hunt, which I have to say, I get to see the feedback every day. I work my way through it, and Jay's hunt is as popular as anything we've ever published. And given we've just published a Fistamafel hunt as well, it really is a testament to her incredible Sudoku construction skills. So Jay, thank you so much for what you did for our patrons, and well done to John Andrew McCulloch, Jed Brewer, Rob Sommer, Ferdinand Stamm, Sam Noland, Rebel Against the Chains, Anita Burke, Phil Schaffer, James Barrett, Robbie the Belgian, Frank Levinson, Jacko Dreyer, Rex Logan, Nintenbob, Alazas, Mr. Mindor, Jerome Dooman, that made me laugh. Not Jerome Dooman, didn't make me laugh. Mr. Mindor made me laugh. And Hamish Watt. You all solved the puzzles, all of them. Very well done. That is excellent solving. Now, I've read the rules to 1919. Long introduction today because Mark is having his fun. He will be chortling away to himself if this video ever sees the light of day, because he knows, well, he knows how much he hates indexing. He extrapolates that to, he thinks I will hate indexing, and I don't hate it, but I certainly am scared of it. Yeah, he'll be a clover. I don't know. Right, anyway, let us see if this is even possible. Do have a go yourselves. The way to play is to click the link under the video. Now I get to play Let's Get Cracking. And the only thought I have about this is to try and record for myself the difference between, because this part of the perimeter is dealing with ones, isn't it? So let's shade that in my favourite fluorescent green colour. Whereas these cells are indexing nines. So, does that mean these cells are important? They are simultaneously indexing ones and nines. I'm actually more tempted, I think, to look at that cell, to be honest, because that cell, well, I can at least see one thing about this cell. I don't normally do this, but am I going to do it? Oh, this will amuse Mark as well. I'm going to pencil mark this cell. Oh, hang on, I've just spotted something else. Okay, well, what I was going to do to amuse Mark was to pencil mark this cell with those options, those 7 options, which normally I wouldn't do. But I can see that cell can't be a 2 or a 3, I think. Because if that was a 2, surely I would have to, from a column perspective, the 1 in this column has to go in the second row. But then applying the same rule in the row, the 1 in the row has to go in the second column, and I get 2 1s in the box. And if that was a 3, I get 2 1s there, and it would still be utterly broken. So I think it's fair to say that this is the initial pencil mark. But I've just spotted another reduction I can do in this cell, because I don't think that can be a 4, because won't that break the sandwich clue? Normally, with a total of 4 in a Sudoku, we would think of it in terms of a 1-3 pair adding to 4. But of course you can't do that in a sandwich clue, because if you do put a 1-3 pair between a 1 and a 9, you're definitely going to have 2 1s in the row, and that won't work. So I think it's fair to say that actually, on reflection, row 1 contains within it a 1-4-9 triple or a 9-4-1 triple somewhere along it. Now what that means is you can't put 4 here, because then it couldn't be in the sandwich. So I have actually, no, I haven't reduced this to a reasonable number of options, have I? I've reduced it very slightly. In fact, maybe this is the right time for me to think about the secret of every type of Sudoku now has its own secret, but indexing puzzles have this weird secret, which is sort of an entropic secret. What do I mean by an entropic secret? That's a good question. Let's think about those 3 cells. Now, there is an interesting property to these 3 cells, and it same applies there, there, there. And the property is that one of these digits has to be from the set of digits 1, 2, and 3. Let's say it's this one. One of these digits has to be from the set of digits 4, 5, and 6. Let's say it's this one. And one has to be from the set of digits 7, 8, and 9. And that is forced. What you cannot have is 2 digits, say, from the 1, 2, 3 set. Or in fact, let's do the 4, 5, 6 set, because it might be clearer. If we try and make 2 of these digits from the same entropic set, so 2 from the middle set of digits, what's that telling us about where 1s go in this row? Well, it's telling us there's a 1 in one of those 3 cells. What's it telling us about where 1 goes in this row? One of those 3 cells. So you get 2 1s in box 5. So because you can't repeat a digit in a box, we have to make sure that these index into different 3x3 boxes, which has this entropic effect. And that's the secret to indexing. If you know the secret, these puzzles become straightforward. Honestly, they do. Not. I mean, how are these useful? How? So if that's a 5, you get a 1 here and a 1 here. If it's a 6, you get a 1 here and a 1 here. This is not... I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. There may be something meta here that I'm not appreciating at all. That one, I don't know. This one has a similar effect to this one in terms of certain digits. Like, I don't think that can be 8. Because if it's 8, don't I have to put 2 9s into those cells? And that's not going to work. And the same will be true of 7 in the corner. So I managed to get this one down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 9. Now, if that's 1, both of those are 9. Hang on, that might not work. No, that doesn't work. Right, okay, I can get rid of 1. Oh, so maybe it's this column I've got to think about with its even clue. I hadn't thought about this. Right, but let's... There is, I suppose, yeah, there is... Well, there is a property of sandwich clues that it now occurs to me might be relevant. And it derives from a secret, another secret, a different secret. This is the main secret of Sudoku, though. And it tells you, or to find the secret, we should think about what the sum of digits in any Sudoku column sum to, or indeed any Sudoku row, or any Sudoku 3x3 box. Now, because any Sudoku row, column or box by the rules of Sudoku contains the digits 1 to 9, if we add up those digits we get 45. And that means that this column, all the digits in it sum to 45. Well, if I make that a 1, then that's telling me that the 9 in this column has to go at the top. Now, how could this work now? How could we have an even sandwich total? So that's telling us those 7 digits sum to an even number. Well, they won't sum to an even number because the column sums to 45, which is odd. 1 and 9 add up to 10, which is even. And therefore those cells add up to 35, which is odd. So actually, I get a tiny bit extra restriction here. That cell can't be a 1. Now, if that's a 9, does it work the same way? No. Oh, no, it doesn't. 9 only indexes itself. Ah! I thought maybe that was... For some reason, I thought 9 there might index a 1 here. But it doesn't. It doesn't. A 9 there is saying that the 9 in this column goes in the 9th row, which is exactly where it is. So it doesn't tell us anything about the 1. Oh, for goodness sake, you can't... And then I was thinking maybe you could rule out, like... You can't even rule out this. You can't even rule out a 0 sandwich. So that here, there's nothing between the 1 and the 9. But 0 is even. At least I think it's even. Hang on, let me check the rules. It doesn't say that 0 isn't... I mean, 0 is even, isn't it? It must be even. So that right, I suspect this column is full of a 1-9 pair, like 1 and 9 together somewhere. Right, let's just think about this. If that's a 2, then you're getting 9s in both of those. If it's 3, you get 9s in both of those. I mean, how is this helpful? It's impossible. Is it the corner then? Is it the bi-coloured cell? Is it the pied cell? I don't think it is, because one of them is indexing 1 and one of them is indexing 9. And then 1 and 9 are different. Let's have a look at this just for a second. Actually, I was going to write 4 into this cell. At some point, I will learn that 4 is not outside the sandwich in this row. Let's write 6 in instead. Right. So if this is a 6, what is that saying to us in terms of 9 in this? Hang on, no, 9. It's saying 9 is there, isn't it? Okay. So the 13 clue. Well, ignore the 13 clue because this doesn't have to be a 6. And it's saying that the 1 is in the 6th row, so the 1 is there. So all it's saying is that we get a 9 here. Oh, but that... Oh! Ah, right, sorry, I had not thought of this at all. Of course. Yeah, you don't just get... Yeah, this has to index that. Oh, because the 9s and the 1s are indexed by 2 different... They're like coordinates, aren't they? So when I place this 9, I get this digit, which is now a 1. Because this row, it tells me where the 9 goes in this column, which is now in the 1st row. So that 1 must be in the 9th column. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, good grief. Right. Okay. That's just really clever. I hadn't appreciated that at all. Right. That digit is the same as that digit. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, wow, wow. I didn't... Okay, so the trick here is that once you get the 9 and the 1, obviously then you can use this cell to get the 9 in this kerfuffle in column 1. That becomes a 6, but then we can also find out what the index is here, and obviously it's the same digit. So these become the same, whatever, and that's going to apply. Let's just prove it to ourselves. If that was a 3 instead, then what that would be saying is that from the row's perspective, this is the 9. From the column's perspective, this is the 1. Then this 1 can be indexed. Oh, okay, that's not a 3, because that's going to put a 9 here. And then I'm going to get 2 9s in these 2 cells. Oh, wow. Okay, hang on. So actually, okay, well, I mean, all right, let's put in a different digit. No, I don't think we have to, do we? We understand. At least I think we understand now that this digit in the corner is definitely, well, it's repeated down there, and I've just found it can't be a 3 and it can't be a 2, I think. Let's prove it can't be a 2. If it's a 2, that becomes a 9. And the problem with that is that that becomes a 1. So we get 9 here, that becomes a 1, and then you have to put 9 there to index that 1. That's really clever. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, RockyRoer, take a bow already. That is absolutely mad. So, right, what can this be then? I'm not sure about 1 yet. I'll check that in a minute. It's not 2, it's not 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not 3 for the same reason it's not 2. It's not going to work. You're going to get two 9s over here. It's not 4, is it? Because we can't have 4 in the row. This is not enough. Okay, I don't think... Right, it can't be 6, I'm going to claim. Because if it's 6, you've got to put 9 there, but then that cell becomes a 1 to index the 9. And that's telling us the sandwich in this column is 35. It's definitely not 13. So that doesn't work. So this is not 6. So actually we've reduced it almost to manageable proportions. 1, 5, 7 or 9. If it's 1, do I get a 9 here? That would be... I do, of course I do. If it's a 1, you do get a 9 there, because that cell is indexing the 9. That doesn't work, because 4, again, I've got a 35 sandwich. I should have a 4 sandwich. So here we go. We've now almost got it to manageable proportions. If it's 5, you get a 9 there and a 1 here. A 9 there and a 1 here. And we know that will be a 5 because that 1 has to be indexed. So if that's a 5, that's plonking a 9 here. Oh, I see. So you get 2 massive sandwiches going across the grid in the cross shape. Okay. Can that be 9 then? Maybe we can get rid of 9. Oh, we have got a... Yes. Oh, yes. If that's 9, I have to put 1 in the corner. Yeah, that's indexing the 1. And that's going to break this even total. That's a 35 sandwich again. It's absolutely remarkable, this. Right, so this square in the bottom we know is the duplicate of this. So it's 5, 7 or 8. I'm just wondering whether, can we get rid of 7 and 8 for some weird reason, like I could get rid of 2 and 3. If that's 7, that becomes 1, so that becomes 9. I'm so bad at this. I just can't. I have to do it slowly. 7 is indexing a 1 here. 7 is indexing a 9 here. That 9 is indexed by a 1. That's indexing a 9. Oh, that works. Oh, no, it doesn't. Right, no, it doesn't work. It works from this one's perspective. The sandwich clue is odd, and it would be odd, but I do get 2 1s in box 9. That's what I wondered about, and you do. That's so strange, isn't it? It's going to be the same for 8, of course. If we go 8 here, this digit is a 5. It's absolutely amazing. So that becomes 9. And then that gets indexed. It's magical. That is absolutely magical. So this is a 5, because it can't be anything else by a variety of nonsenses that we have to perform on the grid. So now that's a 5 in that corner as well. This is indexing 1 from that perspective, 9 in that perspective, which means that's a 9 by indexing the greens. This is a 1 by indexing the purples. And I've got 6 digits in the grid. I've got 1s and 9s into some localities of digits. 2 of those 4 cells in box 5. What about... Right, so that's not 9 anymore in the corner. It's not 1. It's not 1 in the corner because... Remember what we said about the 4 clue in this row? It's got to go 1, 4, 9 or 9, 4, 1. So there's got to be a 1 in one of those 2 squares. I don't really like pencil marking across boxes, but needs must. So there's a 1 in either that cell or that cell, which means that cell's most certainly not a 1. So this is 6. Oh, Oh, hang on. That's indexing the 1. So surely it's indexing that. Why have I got this down to such a low level? No, I think that was legitimate. I did do proper logic on this. How did I prove it wasn't 3? If it was 3... Yes, if it's 3, you get a 1 here and a 1 here. That is perfect. That's exactly what we needed. So the 1 goes there and it's a 7. So this is a 7. This is a 4. And so the 7 is indexing the 1 in the column. So oh look, I've got 4 1s looking at box 9. Now that's in the 8th position from that perspective, and the 8th position from this perspective. This 4 is indexing a 1. That cell. It would be so easy to make a mistake here, you know. He says, wondering if he's already made a mistake. Oh, I was about to try and fill that in with a 13 total. That's not how sandwich glues work. Oh, that can't be 9 though. I can't write 13 into that cell, so that's not 9. So the 9 is over there. Now 9 is indexed by what? It's indexed by that. So that is 4 or 6th row, and it's indexed by these 2 cells, which mean these 2 cells are indexing the 4th column. So there is a 4 in one of these, which means that is not a 4 in the corner. So 2, 3, 6 or 9 in the corner. Right, what about the top row though? 2, 3 or 6 into these squares. And these are indexing... Well, that can't be 6, because that would put a 1 there, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's wrong. That would be 2 1s in the middle box. Oh yeah, okay, I know what to do. I need to think about the entropy, don't I? So yes, that's the simple way of seeing this square can't be a 6. I've already got a middly digit in that string, so I can't have a second middly digit. So there's a 6 in one of these, which means there is a 1 for sure in... Oh, there's a 1 in one of those, and we could have got that from sudoku. Bar humbug. Okay. Right, so... What does that mean? 6... Well, 6 in this column is now in one of those 2 positions. And that's indexing the... Oh, no, I see, sorry. When I got this 1, I indexed it from there, but I could have indexed it from here, and it is a 6. I should have just realised that, but I didn't. 2, 3 and 4 go into those cells. But this one needs a low entropy, which is... I see, so that's not 4, because otherwise we'd have 2 medium entropies, and that would put a 1 there. That's not going to work. So there's a 4 up here, which means there's a 1 in one of those 2 squares, which I now see I could have got from sudoku. I've got a 2, 3, 4, 6 quadruple in box 1. So my 1 and 9 in box 1 are in those cells, which I don't think I can do. I'm just wondering about the sandwich clues here. No, 1 and 9 can go together, can't they? But here we couldn't make that a 1-9 pair, because obviously then it wouldn't have an odd number, an odd total between the 1 and the 9. Actually, that square can't be a 1 at all, because surely... Right, let's have a look at that. If that's a 1, don't I have to put 2 in both of those cells? Yes, that doesn't work. Same is going to be true there. If you put 1 there, that has to be a 3, and that has to be a 3. So actually, 1 in this box is in one of 2 places. Which means... So that can't be 9, is what I want to say now. If that's 9, in this box I've got to put the 1 there, and that's going to be a 1 by sudoku, and I'm going to have a 9-1 pair there in this domino, And that hasn't got an odd sandwich total, so that doesn't work. Now, can we repeat? Oh no, there's no clue. There's no clue in row 3. I don't know what to do with that. Bobbins. Bobbins face. The ultimate expression of Sudoku regret and frustration. Right, so I'm worried that when I got the flurry of digits, I've done something like I did with this 6 and not exploited it to the full. Yeah, look, there's a 9 in one of those 3 cells. Now, that means that digit has to be a 7, 8 or a 9, doesn't it? Because, although, ooh, hang on, that might break my 13 clue. Oh, 1 second, let me think about that. Yeah, okay. Okay, so by Sudoku, it is true to say there is a 9 down here. But were that 9 to be there, I don't think we can make this total work. Because 4 different digits in Sudoku that don't have a 1 in them, I know add up to 14 at least. 2, 3, 4 and 5 add up to 14. And 14 is more than 13. There is a knowledge bomb for you from cracking the cryptic. So, that is not 9, which means that 9 is in one of these 2 cells. Now, if that is... if that's 7, that's 9, and those 2 cells have to add up to 13 without using 7 or 9. That would be a 5, 8 pair. Which might be possible. If this is 8, this is 9, and these 3 cells add up to 13 without using 1. Now, I was about to say, do they have to have 2 in them, but they don't. 3, 4, 6 would work. Oh, no, 4. Hang on. Maybe they would have to have 2 in them. But even if they did, what would that do? We don't actually have any 2s in the grid at all. Maverick, how I've missed you. Okay. Oh dear. I think we could be about, after a flurry of rather wonderful activity, we could be about to get very badly stuck. What about... I don't know. I don't even know really where to look here. That sequence of digits has to have 6 in it by entropy. 5 is in that sequence, 4 is in that sequence. There must be a middly digit in this sequence, so it has to be 6. And that's indexing the... Oh, that's totally obvious. Sorry, I could have got that from that 9 pencil mark. The moment this 9 pencil mark was written in, I should have written 6 pencil marks in there. Oh, well, I suppose that's quite good. The corner digit now can't be 6. Because if it was 6, that would put a 9 there, which I've just proved is impossible. So the corner digits come down and still gives us an opportunity for a 3 in the corner as well. It's the only opportunity left. Oh, that's right. Right. That's lovely. That is lovely. Right. I can write 6 into the bottom row of the puzzle. If you can't see why, do pause the video. Give yourself a second to see it. It's really cool. It's really cool. So, how am I getting 6 in the bottom row? Well, I know I've got to put a 6 somewhere, but it can't go here. Remember the entropy. It's a middly digit. We've already got our middly digit in that string. Now, it could go here, and does go here, in fact, and it can't go in any of those 3 by Sudoku from our pencil mark, so it must go there. So that becomes a 6, which is indexing 9, so that becomes a 9, which must be indexed there as well, so that becomes a 4. And that means, well, okay, so thinking about 4 in the bottom row now, we've got the 5 middly, we've got the 6 middly. The middly in that string is a 4, so it's in one of those 2 cells, which is indexing the 9. So one of those 2 is a 9. Oh, which I could have got. I could have got all these digits just by doing some Sudoku. Now that means this digit is a 7 or an 8 because it's indexing one of those 2. How many 9s have I got? Hardly any. How? Every time I look at... Oh, bobbins, that can be a 9 as well. 9 and 1 together. 0 is the sandwich. 0 is even. Ah, you rotten thing. Is it Sudoku? Is it... I mean, look at these clues. There's, you know, you're told there's an even sandwich in this column. It's just nothing. Odd sandwich in this column. I don't know where the 9 is. Oh, if that was a 9, is it hard to make those? No, it's not hard to make those add up to an odd number. Eight by Sudoku in that column has only got 2 places to go, I think. Ah, okay, I can actually get the 8 in this column then. Because it can't go there, I've just noticed. At last, the possibility of a 1-9 pair doesn't work. If you put 1... So if you make this 8, it's telling you there's a 9 here, but a 1-9 pair here cannot fulfill the odd sandwich criteria because obviously it's got a 0 sandwich. So this square is not 8, which seems to say that that's 8. If that's 8, that's 9, and if that's 9, that's 4. Here we go. More digitage. 4 is in one of those 2 cells. 4. Oh, we've got an odd total between those 3 digits. So there's either 1 odd digit there or 3 odd digits there. So if it was 3 odd digits to add up to an odd total, it would be all of them. It would be 3, 5, and 7. And those would both be 2, and they would be a 2-6 pair. That looks unfortunately possible. And obviously if we just have one odd digit in there, oh, then both of those would be odd. Ooh, and that would be a 3-7 pair. Because it couldn't be 1, 5, or 9. That doesn't do anything. Okay, that digit is a naked single. Because at last one of these clues is useful. That's even, and it can't be 6, it can't be 8, and it can't be 4, so that's a 2. Wasn't I thinking about 2s at some point? Oh no, I was thinking about 2s in this column. Okay. Wow. I mean, I don't even know where to look here. Mark will be sitting, chortling away to himself here. What have you done, you naughty man? I don't know how to do this. Do I know where 9 goes? I know 9 is not there, so 9's either there or there. And if it's in this column, that would be a 7 over here. If it's in this column, it's indexing itself, so it doesn't really do anything. It would knock a 9 out of the corner, which would put... Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, okay. So this is 2, 3, or 9. So we could have double 9 there, double 9 there, or single 9 there. Okay, let's just have a quick look at that. If that's double 9, then that's a 9. Oh, that doesn't stop that being a 1. I don't know how to do this. We could... What's the trick? What is the trick? I don't know what the trick is. It could be... I know there's a 6 down here. If I knew the entropy of that digit, it feels like that might be a bit useful. If that's 9, there's a 7 here as the high entropy digit. But if that's low entropy, one of these has got to be a 7 or a 9. I just don't think this does anything, does it? Oh, actually maybe it's this even clue. Can I do something with that? I've got 2 even numbers, so that could be 9, and that just wins, doesn't it? If that's 9, what's that digit? Or maybe I don't know. If that's 9, that's got to be low. If that's 9, that's got to be the low entropy digit. It would have to be... Okay, it would have to be even in order to keep the total even. So if that's 9, that's 2, and that's a 3, and that would get me my 3 in the corner. So if that's 9, that's 2, 3 in the corner. No, but that's 9 is in the wrong place. Oh, I'm going mad. I think I'm going mad here. I don't think that can be 9 now. If that's 9, to make this sandwich even, that's got to be an even digit. And it's got, from entropy, it's got to be a low digit, because we haven't had a low digit in that string. So the only thing it can be is 2. But now, the corner digit by sudoku is 3, and that's telling us 9 goes in the 3rd row, which it's not in. So that doesn't work. So, that's not 9. But I don't actually think that's very helpful, is it? Because all that's telling me... I don't even know that I don't even have a good idea about what it's telling me. That can still be absolutely able. That's absolutely able to be 9. That looks like it could be 9. I'm saying that without any great insight. If that's 9, that's 6, so that's fine, because those two would be even. And if that's 9 in the corner, and I suppose if that's 9 in the corner, I know one of those is 6, I know one of those is 4, so I need another even digit. So this would be a 2, so it would be 9, 6, 2 in some order, but all of those have the right entropy. 9, 9, 2, 6. I think that would become a 9. I'm not quite getting this. I don't think I'm a million miles away from having the right sort of thoughts, but it's not clear to me what I meant to do, if I'm frankly honest with you. Okay, maybe I can do something, can I, with this? This is an odd total. Oh, I've already looked at this. Yeah, so this pair here is either... It's got to have the same parity, hasn't it? So this is either a 3-7 pair or it's a 2-6 pair. Now, how is that? That's just that's just the sudoku implications. But these digits are tied together, so it's a little bit more than sudoku. If we'd just done sudoku on these two cells, I think we'd have got this result. But we actually know a little bit more. We've got to make sure that if one of them is a 2, the other is a 6. There isn't a totally free choice. Okay, right. Okay, so I think I'm going to pencil mark these digits, because if I think about them from an entropic perspective, I suddenly realise they're a bit more restricted. In the sense that one of them is a low digit that's not a 1. Well, so one of them has to be a 2 or a 3. Now, whichever one of these is 2 or 3, the other digit has to be the high entropic digit that's not 8. So in fact, these are only from 2, 3, 7 and 9. And we know that's not 9 from the work we did before. So This one has become 2, 3 or 7 only. Is that in any way helpful? The answer is almost certainly no. So if that's 2, if that's 2, that becomes 9. That becomes 2. The world probably makes sense. Oh, hang on, that can't be 3. Oh, hang on, I hadn't appreciated that. That can't be 3 because that cell can't be a 9, because if that was a 9, the 1 would be here and that odd total would be broken. Ooh, okay, so this is 2 or 7 only now. Is that helpful? The answer is I have no clue. If I don't know. Can we put oh no, right. Okay, right, I've got it. I think I've got it anyway. It's absolutely evil. It's absolutely evil. I think I had to pencil mark the bottom row as well and appreciate that this cell couldn't be a 2. Which, I mean, I was nowhere near thinking about this. I've only started to think about it when I'm under extreme duress here. So from a Sudoku perspective, this digit is 3, 7, 8 or 9. I don't know if it can be all of those things, but that's not really what's important. The important thing is that if we now consider where 9 goes in this box, it can't go here because if it goes here, if it was there, that cell needs to be a 2 to indicate the second row, and it can't be because of this digit. So the 9 in this box is in one of 2 positions, and they're both in row 3. And that means the 9 in box 1 is there. Wow. Wow, that's just absolutely evil. Oh, but this is cute. This is cute. This is cute because now 9, well, not only this, look, I'm going to get all sorts of jiggery-pokery going on now because that's become a 2. But also, this odd little thing here, that can't be a 1 because that would be a 0 clue. So that means the 1 has to go, well, if that can't be a 1, the long way round is to say that's the 1 and that's the 1. So there we go. We've done some 1-age. We've got all sorts of, well, I've got all the 1s done in the grid. Ah, now I can use this one to index. That must be a 3. So these become a 2, 4 pair at the top. 2 comes out of these 2 squares. That cell's a 6 because it's indexing the 1. 6, 3. Oh, the 2 was already given to us. Oh, in fact, look, this 2, 4's resolved because this one has to index the 1. And, well, actually, so does this one. I'm so bad at this. That's become a 4. Oh, by Sudoku, and that's taken one of my positions for 9 away from this box. So 9 goes there now. Now, 9 in this box. Right, it's indexing itself from the column's perspective, but surely that becomes a 3. Ah! And that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. And that 3 there is telling us that the 9 in this row, surely, goes here. So that gives me another digit, which means this isn't a 9 or a 3. So this is a 7, 8 pair. 7 or 8 here is indexing the 9. So there's a 9 in one of those 2 cells. These 2 squares are 6 and 7, which means that 6 and 7. Oh, I see, that's sort of pointing at that little X-wing of 9s. Oh, but that's now an 8 by the power of Sudoku, 6 and 7. So this becomes an 8, that becomes a 7, the 8 is signalling a 9 there, so that becomes a 9. That's got to be the 6 now, because it's sort of, that's very peculiar the way that all unwinds itself, but rather lovely. That's not a 4 anymore, so let's get rid of this. So this is a 3, 6, 7 triple left in box number 3. And I haven't had to call Mark, to be fair to him yet. This might solve 1, this is a 2. Oh no, 2 in this box goes there. That's a 5. How many? I've done the perimeter. Have I done all the 9s? 1, 2, 3. I've done all the 9s. I've done all the 1s. Right. So now it's sandwich sudoku, and that's it, I think. Which is quite surprising. 3, 6, 7. So we're going to apparently be able to solve this just basically from these parity clues. Oh look, the 13 clue is done. That is a 5-8 pair. We thought about that earlier because it can't be 9, 4 and it can't be 6, 7. So in this column we've not placed 2, 3 and 6. And the 2 in this column has to go there by sudoku. This has become a 3, 6 pair. I'm seeing that's giving me a 3, 6, 7 triple in row 2. So I've not placed 5 and 8. Oh, bobbins. Alright, all of those squares have to be 5s and 8s apparently, which is rather distressing. What else could we do here? We could say that those 2 digits are even. Well, no, they sum to an even total. Let's be precise about this, which means they're both of the same parity. Now, interestingly, these are the things I find interesting. Apologies for that, anyone who's ever been to a party with me. They cannot both be even because there are not 2 spare even digits available. 2, 6 and 8 could not go into those squares. Only 4 could. And then the other digit would be odd, and that would make the sandwich total wrong. So this is lovely. So these are both odd, and they're not 1, 5 and 9. That's a 3, 7 pair. I know the order. Oh, good. This is a sensational puzzle. It's one of these puzzles that's absolutely, it's so clever. You sort of think, how can anyone have done this? It's a bit like yesterday's. You know, you just sort of think, what on earth goes on in RockyRoer's mind? In order to come up with this sort of, I mean, it's just mesmerising. These are a 3, 8 pair. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Those ones are not a 3, 8 pair. They are a 4 and a 5. Okay. Which sandwich clues have I not used? That one I've used. This one, where's the... Oh, this is a good one to look at. Odd. Well, 8 is not odd, so that's a 5, that's an 8, that's an 8, that's an 8, that's a 3. These squares have got to be 7 and 5. I don't know if that's resolved, I can't see how. So this has now become a 3, 6 pair. We've done that one, we've done that one. Have we done this columns one? 8 at the bottom. Well, we can't change anything about the sandwich parity here. Those cells have to add up to an odd number. Now, 45 minus 8 is 37. Minus 9 minus 1 is 27, which is odd. So this clue works. This is odd. Now, how does that work? We've got an even digit here at the moment. So we need 1 odd and 1 even in here. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, in fact, that is beautiful. Okay, look at this. Look at this domino. Now, this is an odd total because that's even. So in order to get to odd overall, we need 1 odd and 1 even in here to get the parity right. Now, 2, 4 and 8 are unavailable, which means there must be a 6 in there and 1 odd digit. And that's correcting this digit to give me a 7, which means that must be a 3. That must be a 6. That's doing my 6 and my 3. Gives me a 7 here. 3 here. So this turns out to be a 5, 6 pair, I want to say. Then I'm seeing 5s. Look, where does 5 go in this row? The answer is there. It's the only place it can live. And now the 7 and the 8 are resolved, which gives us the 8 and the 5 and the 5 and the 6. And then that squares are something, maybe a 2. These squares have got to be 7 and 3, and we can do it. 3, 7, 7, 5, 5, 4, 4, and 6 in the middle. And that is how to solve one of the most brilliant puzzles you will ever see in your life. Again, RockyRoer 1919. No, Mark Goodlive deserves no praise. No praise before any of you start to write in and say, well, this was all Mark. No, he was trying to get me. That's what he was trying to do. he was trying to have, and he probably has had a great deal of laughs at my expense, especially when I started pencil marking these in with an absolute plethora of options. But I did manage to solve it, and I think he has to be honest now and drop a comment into the chat or into the comments under the video if this was something he attempted and then had to pull his hair out over. That would at least give me some recompense for the for the trauma that's been visited upon me. Absolutely brilliant puzzle though. RockyRoer, I don't know how you have the idea of this. I don't know how you think. I mean, it's a beautiful thought. It's a beautiful setup, but then to have the sort of panache to note that you can make a lovely solvable puzzle out of just basically parity clues for a sandwich. It's really, really breathtaking, and I loved it. And let me know in the comments how you got on. Let me know whether there were some tricks and I should have picked up on with this indexing malarkey. I can well believe it. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.